Candid Camera. Does anybody remember that TV show, Candid Camera? It was a
Yes.
long time ago.
I remember it.
I haven't watched TV in 20 or 30 years, but basically.
You're not
But-
missing a lot.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm very aware. I mean, it's really intentional. Betty,
I don't watch the news anymore.
Betty, you're making twins.
I'm leaving.
Look,
Where's she going?
she was trying to get her computer running. Okay, hey, let's get started. Let's just jump in. First off, does anybody have any questions? Is everybody working on their plan?
Mhm.
I see some heads moving. We're going to come back to that. We'll come back to the plan, not today, but we're going to finish this thing this week with our reviewing our plans. I wanted, if it's all right with you, do I have your permission to take you into what I said I was going to take you into, which is visioneering? Now, somebody asked yesterday, and I don't know who, and it's not relevant really. Somebody asked, what does it have to do with goals? The answer is absolutely everything. It is the foundation. Here's the challenge we have. We set goals. We fill out, even when we do these nice, sophisticated, long, detailed worksheets, we have goals, we have plans, we have this, we have that. And at the end of the year, we look back and we say, it didn't work. Just like New Year's resolutions don't work in the gym. There are reasons, but there are reasons why our goals don't work for us as we move through the year. Typically, life interferes. It's that simple. Life interferes. The question is, how do we stay focused? How do we stay on course? How do we keep moving forward? How do we keep the prize in front of us so that we never forget on a daily basis what it is we said we were going to do? And the way we do it is by creating a vision. Your mind is absolutely powerful. And if you can create a vision of what you're trying to accomplish, and you can hold it in your mind using your will, the universe will move towards you and will help you to accomplish your goals. Now, I'm going to take you down a bit of a rabbit hole here. For some of you, some of this may be very strange. I promise you, we're not going to go very far down the rabbit hole, but we're going to go into the rabbit hole a little bit, and then I'll pull you back out. Some of this stuff may be strange. If you haven't heard it before, you may question my sanity. It's okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I put the stuff into writing. I personally like to use PowerPoints to help people because not everybody. It's very hard to learn from audio alone. And by background, I actually had a girlfriend. Well, I've had probably more than one in my life, but I had a girlfriend who was not an audio learner at all. You could talk to her all day long, and she did not understand a word you said. But if you put a picture in front of her, then she could understand it. Some people don't learn from audio. So I also renamed this. I called it Visioneering yesterday. I changed the name. And the reason I changed the name is because I don't know that the Proctor Institute doesn't have the word visioneering copyrighted or protected some way. I'm not sure where the word visioneering came from. The only place I've ever actually seen it is in the Proctor Gallagher Institute. I've seen the concepts in many other places. This is not new stuff, and I've been personally studying this stuff for years. So I called it EnVsioning. I've adopted a lot of what I'm doing from the Proctor Gallagher Institute, but not all of it. If you go to, you can look up Sandy Gallagher on YouTube, and you will find videos on visioneering where she is teaching it to audiences. I have grabbed some of her, but not all of her material. If you understand this picture, you understand the entire concept. What is visioneering? It's seeing yourself as the person you want to become. Now, as Sandy points out in her talks, the kitty cat can't envision itself as a lion. It doesn't have the mental capacity to do that, but we have the mental capacity to envision ourselves as anything we want. We have that capacity. The human being may be the only creature on earth that does, but we can look into the future and we can see ourselves as what it is we want to be. And if you can form that picture of what you want to be, and you can hold it in your mind, by law of attraction, the universe must bring it to you. You have to do the work to go after it too. This is not a one-sided endeavor. How many have seen this picture before? I've seen it many times.
I have. I love it.
Yeah.
And surprise, I told my daughter, this is Iris.
Hi,
I
Iris.
told my daughter, I'll catch her tomorrow. I have a Zoom.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so
Thanks.
let's move on. Now, let me tickle your imagination a little bit. Albert Einstein told us imagination is more important than knowledge. And the reason I put that up there is that many people, I saw this, were any of you on Eric Worre's 3-day or 4-day, whatever event it was, a couple of weeks ago, for example? I saw comments. Well, there was a couple of speakers that were really talking a lot about mindset. And I saw comments saying, all right, enough of that. Let's get on to the real learning. Let's get on to the stuff. People, you'll be coaching somebody and they'll say, listen, I want to know how to build a website. That's what I need to know. And meanwhile, you ask them where they want to go with their future. And the answer is, I just want to build a website and I'll be successful. They miss the important thing. It's not the knowledge of how to build a website or how to put up a post or how to da. That's not what's important. What's important is that you get your mind going in the right direction, because once that happens, the universe will come along for the ride. It will play with you. Max Planck, who was considered to be oh, by the way, I see you taking notes, Tara. I'll put the PowerPoint, I'll put the slides in the group.
You can do that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I like just taking little notes
Okay.
sometimes. But if they're in the PowerPoint, that's great too. But this is how I kind of learn if I try to take a little.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to take notes.
Okay. Well, I take notes too, but I also find sometimes that taking notes, you can't possibly write down everything that the person says, and
No.
you end up getting distracted. So okay.
Yes.
So all matter. Read this with me. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force, which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. Now, when we went to school, and this is fundamental to understanding the whole concept, when we went to school, we learned, at least I did, that the whole solar system was built of these little building blocks. The whole world was built, the universe was built of little building blocks. We had neutrons and protons and electrons, and they formed little atoms that looked like little solar systems, and they formed molecules and blah, 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 blah. And all of that's not true. None of it is true. When we go down and we look at that particle model of the universe, we find out that there is absolutely nothing there except energy. Nothing. There are no particles. There is no matter as such. And that means that you are not a solid object. You may think you are, but that's because you're in a very high state of vibration. Now, this is really woo-woo stuff, but here's the important thing. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. That's the mind of God. That's universal intelligence. That's the creator. That is whatever you want it to be, whatever you want to call it. This force, this mind, is the thing that's holding the entire universe together and making it work. And it is that mind that we want to communicate with. When we pray, we want to pray to that mind. We want to talk to that mind. We want to connect with that mind. We want to communicate with that mind. But there's one problem. That mind doesn't speak English, doesn't speak Greek, doesn't speak Russian, doesn't speak language. It speaks heart-centered emotion, feelings. That's the language of communication with the universe. Now, the reason this is important is because people think that some people will tell you affirmations don't work. Affirmations don't work when they're coming from your head, when they're coming from your ego, when they're coming from your egocentric thought processes. They work when they're coming from your heart centered emotion. The reason we have to visualize where we want to go, the reason we have to bring in this idea of feeling like we're already there, of being as if, acting as if, is because we need to generate the feelings that we would have if we had reached that state of awareness that we're looking to achieve. And if we can't do that, then we're not attracting the right things to us. Have you ever wondered why it's so easy to attract negativity to you? Because when you're afraid of something, the feelings are very intense. We're very good at generating the feelings, the fears of things we don't want. It's harder for us to generate the feelings of the things we do want. But that's what we have to do if we want the things we want to come to us. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Is anybody not with me? I don't hear any. So, and by the way, this doesn't come from Proctor Gallagher. This comes from Len Mooney.
Mm.
The human heart, this is very important. You may not have ever heard this before. Has anybody ever told you that there is a brain in your heart?
Not in the heart. In the gut.
What's that?
In the gut, the brain in the gut, not in the heart.
Well, the Heart Math Institute advertises it, says it's a brain in the heart. So this comes directly from Greg Braden. The human heart actually possesses a heart brain composed of 40,000 neurons. And it can sense, feel, learn, and remember. The heart brain sends messages to the head brain about how the body feels. Psychologists once maintained that emotions were purely mental expressions generated by the brain alone. We now know that's not true. Emotions have as much to do with the heart and body as they do with the brain. 40,000 neurons in your heart, called the little brain in the heart, that generate the feelings. And it does communicate via the neural network. It does communicate with your brain. But it's these feelings that we can generate that we want to bring into play. The heart is a very important organ in this entire process. And that's why I talk about heart-centered feeling rather than brain-centered, egocentric language. Because if we jump out of bed in the morning and go look in the mirror and say, I am great, I am wonderful, if we don't bring the feeling into it, if we don't bring the vision into it of what we want, it's not going to do any good for us, which is why some people don't think that affirmations work. And there's another reason I believe that affirmations don't appear to work too for some people. Imagination is the mental faculty out of which visions arise. So we have to use our imagination. Now, there's a couple of really good books. By Neville Goddard, the book Power of Awareness and Awakened Imagination. By Genevieve Behrend, Your Invisible Power. And a lot of what I'm talking about at this point comes from those sources. So you have to imagine yourself right into the state of your fulfilled desire. The future becomes the present. This is where meditation comes in. If we get out of bed every morning and spend a few minutes imagining the thing that we want to achieve, until we get good enough to pull it toward us and hold it on the screen of our mind long enough so that the universe can react to it. Now, the more we work on this, the more power we give it to help the universe bring the things we want. When your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, it attracts to you all things required to the fulfillment of that picture by the law of attraction. That's a direct quote from Your Invisible Power. Order is heaven's first law, and visualization places things in their natural element. It must be a heavenly thing to visualize. If you can envision what you want and hold it in your mind, it will come. Now, part of the way it will come is because by creating this vision and holding it, we're also conditioning ourselves to remember, no matter how many distractions come our way, no matter how much life tries to get in the way, no matter how many interferences there are, to remind ourselves continuously of what we're wanting to accomplish. Somebody asked yesterday about vision boards. This is where things like vision boards and notes on computers, and I have notes on my computer and notes on the refrigerator and notes on the mirror in the bathroom. This is where those things will help to keep you reminded continuously of what it is you're trying to accomplish. And it will help you to stay on course. Otherwise, we get knocked off course very, very easily. The secret to success is visualization, period. Without it, life will just knock us off course, tosses a curveball at us, and we're off in left field somewhere. We got out of bed with the intention of calling those customers, but life got in the way and we didn't get it done. So, oh well, we'll do it tomorrow. No, it doesn't work. We have to stay focused. This is the secret to focusing. Exercising your visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order and attracts to you the things you need to make your life more enjoyable and in an orderly fashion. This is the answer to overwhelming confusion. We get overwhelmed by trying to just do everything without having a vision of what it is we're trying to accomplish. Without maintaining that vision of the goal, it becomes easy to get overwhelmed and to get sucked into confusion and not knowing what to do next. And then we're just all over the place. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire and carefully examining your picture, you will find that your thoughts and desires proceed in a more orderly fashion than ever before. Now, what does it mean by carefully examining your picture? As you form an image of your mind of where you want to go, what you want to be, it's important. It's important that you make sure that the picture you're forming is accurate to the detail as much as you can. And the reason is it's going to manifest in all its detail. You're going to get exactly what you envision. You got to be careful to be sure that what you want is what you're envisioning. The vision you're creating is what you want. Sandy Gallagher tells the story of envisioning having a house on the beach, but she left off a few details. So she got a house on the beach, but the house on the beach wasn't livable in because she didn't complete the vision of exactly what she wanted. She didn't know. So it's important to remember, as you move into this arena of creating a vision for yourself and maintaining that vision, it will come. How many of you have seen the movie The Secret? If you recall in that movie, Jack Canfield made the comment that he had cut out a picture of the house that he wanted to live in. And he put it in a box and forgot about it. And years later, after they had moved, the family had moved, he was unpacking the box. And the picture in the box was exactly the house they were living in. It was exactly the house. It was an interesting story. It took a long time to happen because he did. One of the reasons it may have taken a long time is he wasn't holding it in his mind on a daily basis. And an idea is like an embryo. It's got to be nurtured and enticed into existence. It's got to grow. It takes time. So when you begin to form the vision of what you want, just understand you're on the universe's time. You don't get to wind the clock. But the more you can burn that vision and bring it every day into your reality, the faster it will come to you. Having reached a state of ordered mentality, you are no longer in a state of mental hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. What does that mean? Have you ever felt yourself expending nervous energy, feeling like you had to hurry up and get things done? You were in a hurry. It's a negative feeling. It's really negative. One of the consequences of forming a powerful vision in your mind and holding it is that it will calm your mind and help you to see what you need to do next and next and next. It will help you. The universe will help you plot the path. Now, if you don't believe it, it'll never happen. Like I said yesterday, my mother, I remember all of my life growing up, her saying, well, I'll believe that when I see it. It's not the way it works. You'll see it when you believe it. Belief must come first. The moment your belief matches with any state, you fuse with it. And this union results in the activation of plots, plans, conditions, circumstances. The moment your belief matches with any state, you fuse with it. And that calm is important. And this union results in the activation of plots, plans, conditions, circumstances. The universe will guide you. Once you have that solid belief, the new state of conscious awareness becomes your home from which you view the world. It's your workshop. And if you're observant, you'll see the outer world shaping itself according to your vision. Now, that's a quote from Genevieve Behrend again, from Your Invisible Power. Once again, what it's telling us, it's the same thing all the gurus tell you. You have to believe that what you want is going to happen. This is the reason why. That belief helps to form that vision, helps you to hold it in your mind, and helps you move toward it on a daily basis. In other words, when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, it attracts to you all things required for the fulfillment of that picture by the law of attraction. And that's a repeat of one of the first slides that I put up, but it's the core of this whole concept. When you believe it, when you see it in your mind, when you act as if it's already happening in your present, when you're pulling the future towards you, the universe will bring it. Because you have to do the work, but the universe will bring it. So, one of the most fundamentally important things we can do is control what enters our mind. Everyone is envisioning all the time. The question is, what are you visualizing? Are you visualizing the evening news? Are you visualizing your heart's desire? Are you visualizing CSI? I can go back 20 or 30 years. I don't know, it was 30 years ago. I don't remember how long ago. I haven't seen television in so long, I don't remember. But I used to watch all these crime things, CSI and stuff. I used to read crime novels. I stopped all that many, 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 many years ago. You remember one of the original actors that was playing James Bond, and I'm pulling a blank on his name right now, it doesn't matter. I think it was Roger Moore. No, who the hell played the first James Bond?
Sean Connery?
Sean Connery.
Okay.
He quit playing James Bond, and he gave us his reason that he had to quit because he was pretending to be James Bond so much that he was becoming James Bond. It was distorting his reality. But that's the secret. That's the secret. We don't want to become James Bond. We want to become what's on our sheet of paper that we filled out that says that that's what we're going to become. So we need to be conscious of our use of visualizing, because it will bring to you what you believe it will and what you envision. So if you envision yourself as broke and poor, that's where you're going to go.
So I can keep watching Caribbean Life?
What is it? What is it?
Caribbean Life, when they buy houses in the Caribbean.
Well, absolutely. If that's what you want, if that's what you want, okay. See, that's it. But that's it.
So I can continue to dream about my castle in Italy.
Sure. Now, if that's what you want, let's say you want a castle in Italy. So go find yourself a picture of a castle in Italy, the one that you want or something similar. Make a vision board, post it up there, put it on your refrigerator, create a vision of it in your mind, picture it every day, and you will begin to move toward it. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I guarantee I'm going to do it. There is the mantra underneath all of this. Once you decide what it is you want, whether it's a castle in industry in Italy or a home in the Caribbean or what, just know that you're going to do it. Make that absolute commitment. I guarantee I'm going to do it. The how is not so important as the why. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just know that I am. And hold that picture in your mind. Quote from William Murray, until one is committed. It's one of the most famous quotes. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. How do we get what we want? We start with a plan. We start with the goals. We start with all of the things we've been doing. But behind it all, we create the vision of what our life is going to be like when we get there. And we hold that vision. From Sandy Gallagher, for the longest time, there was no evidence that my dream would manifest. Sandy went to a Bob Proctor seminar. She was a corporate lawyer. She was a banking attorney and very, very good at it, making a lot of money. One of the best in the field. But she sat in that webinar, that seminar that day, and she said, what I really want to do is I want to work with Bob Proctor, and I want to develop courses for those businesses that I've been working with, because they really need to understand this material. And she created that vision. And at that point in her life, that vision was so bizarre to her that she wrote it down in her notebook and closed the notebook and wouldn't show it to anybody. 10 years later, she was the CEO of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. How did that happen? I did everything I could every day. I was willing to change my thinking. It doesn't happen by accident. That's a direct quote from Sandy Gallagher. For the longest time, there was no evidence that my dream would manifest, but I continued to do everything I could every day to move in that direction. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. Every day, do the work. Every day, be persistent. Do the work every day means create this vision and spend a little time with it every day. Make a vision board for yourself. Put things on your refrigerator. Put reminders around so that when life begins to interfere, you see your reminder and you're reminded. Get that picture of that castle and put it in front of you so that you see it all the time and keep moving toward it daily. Thoughts, anybody? Comments? Is everybody so far? Oh, did we freeze? Are we froze here a little bit?
Am I frozen?
Not now.
Oh, I was just saying, I love it. It's awesome. I think everybody should live by this.
Thank you. Anybody else have any thoughts? Well, let me rephrase that question. Hopefully everybody has thoughts. Hi, Tim.
So I do this a lot. I have pretty much my whole life. Like, you know, when I had my house built, I had this vision of what I wanted to create out of it, like in my property and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I did. I envisioned this massive deck across the back of my house going from one end to the other, and I built it. I envisioned my dojo, what it would look like, and I built that. But I have a problem envisioning me, you know, being built something different. That's what I struggle with. I can envision objects and things or going to places, but I can envision me being different.
How do you mean me being different?
Well, you know, they say you got to picture yourself, like when you talk about, like, I know not everybody's in this, but, you know, like I boomerang being a diamond, you know, get that mindset. You have to act like you are what you want to be now. You know, I've talked to people throughout other things, you know, that are trainers and stuff, and they said the same thing. You got to act like you are there. Like if you're a millionaire, you got to act like it now, and, you know, not to fake it to make it, but, you know, I just can't get that concept.
Yeah,
I have my vision board, but my vision board is a place of where I want to retire to. But I can't envision me being, you know.
Are you in that place?
In my head.
Okay. Okay. Now, first off, I agree with you, by the way. I do not, I absolutely do not agree with fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I do agree with acting as if. Now, so let's play with this a little bit, because I share that feeling. It's very difficult to envision yourself being something that you've never been. But just toss some ideas. If you were a millionaire in Iboom or a diamond, what are some things that you would probably do?
I would travel whenever I wanted to
Okay.
and not have to worry about getting permission.
Okay. Can you do that now occasionally?
If I get permission and get time off.
You're still struggling with a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. You have to pretend like you don't have permission. Now, what about contributing, like to the Booms Foundation, for example?
Oh, I could, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, we contribute to other things, but
Well, I'm just thinking of things. What can you do to help yourself get into the mood? Now, the other thing is, you meditate, right?
I try to.
See, I think that's where I think many of us struggle with the whole concept of meditation. We're not used to sitting still and having our minds focus on one thing for 10 or 15 minutes. And that's something that I'm working at getting better and better at.
I do when I like wake up in the mornings, because, you know, since I deal with chronic pain, I sit calmly and I tell myself that, you know, and I talk to, you know, higher powers about give me a pain-free day and so I can go about my day.
Do you ever get a pain-free day?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But I agree. There's another there's another book that I'm reading right now. Taming Your Gremlin.
I've heard of that.
It's actually quite an interesting book, quite good. Because when we sit down to do something like we're gonna meditate for 15 minutes and we're going to create the vision of being a diamond. As soon as we begin to create that vision, the gremlin, I used to call them the monkey chatter, and that was my term that I used for years. Now maybe I'll start using the gremlin term. It's the same thing. It's the chatter that goes on in your head. No, you're not. You can't do that. You're never going to get there. That doesn't work. You don't need to do that. And you got to shut that gremlin down. You got to get rid of them. And that's really, really hard to do for some of us.
There's a saying that you can say to get rid of that. Whenever something comes in your mind and it's really quick, and eventually you realize you're not even saying the saying anymore because the gremlin leaves. It's an old Hawaiian expression, and you probably have heard this before. You know, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, or I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And
Well,
it just leaves. So a lot of times our thoughts come in, they kind of are negative, right? That's
right.
if they're positive, then we don't want them to leave. But that gremlin can say negative things. So you just calmly repeat that phrase over and over again. For some guys, my husband says, put a pin on it, just put a pin in it. I said, you know, if you get a negative thought, put a pin in it and just say it out loud to yourself or in your head. But eventually I've practiced it for a while now, and it actually, because I used to get really crazy thoughts happening, and I very rarely say that saying anymore. So you could try it.
Actually,
Meditate.
it's Ho'oponopono.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
there's a whole thing on it. It's awesome.
and I have the book sitting behind me. I've read it more than once. But you're right. You're right. In fact, you reminded me that I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah,
What's
it
it called?
works for me.
It's Ho'oponopono. I don't know.
Yeah, Tim, I have a YouTube video that a gal that I'm friends with sent it to me. If you like, I can forward it on Messenger to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that you can actually meditate to.
Right.
So it's actually kind of neat. So it gets you in the practice.
Yeah. Send it.
Yeah, I'll try to find you on Facebook and the Messenger.
Okay.
Well, you know what you can do is you can
We'll put it in our group.
Yeah, drop it in the group.
I'll put it in the group. If I know how to do that, I'll try. I'm learning something new every day.
Here's Joe Vitale's book. Joe Vitale's book, Zero Limits. The Secret Hawaiian System for Wealth, Health, Peace, and More. That's Ho'oponopono. There's
to come to your house and just read your books.
Yeah. That it's a very powerful. It's very powerful. Ho'oponopono. So.
Can you repeat that, Tara, please? You said thank you.
Oh, I'll put it in. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So basically you're saying it to yourself. Or, I mean, you can mix the words around, but I think that's how it goes. I have to look back. I haven't used it for a while because I've honestly, my mind has been quite clear, so I don't use it very often. But I think that's what it was.
That sounds right. To be honest with you, I don't remember either.
Video in there. It's a good 30-minute video.
Forgive me, I love you. I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you. Thank you.
Sorry, forgive me, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Or thank you, I love you. But I'll definitely find it and put it back in.
Thanks.
Yeah, I can't minimize my screen because we are recording right now, so that I'm locked out from minimizing. Otherwise, if you were to Google Ho'oponopono, I'm sure it would pop up immediately.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share this with everybody.
Cool.
Hopefully it works.
Cool.
So Len, your PowerPoint was really with really deep information. Yeah, that's good. So what I'm gonna do is like translate it in French, so I can catch the meaning of it.
Okay. I will put it in the group. I ask that you don't share it widely. I mean, if you got a friend you want to share it with, go ahead, but it's not, it's, you know, first off, I'm a little sensitive to, I've used a lot of the Bob Proctor and the Proctor Institute material without their written approval. So, although a lot of that does not come from Bob Proctor either, it's a lot of it is from other sources, but still.
It's a mix. Yeah, we often do that. We mix different ideas together and
Yeah, sure.
to understand all of it.
So, okay.
Cool.
Anybody else have any?
Well, I can't even find what group we're in again. I already know what it is, but I can't find it on my Facebook, so I'll have to figure it out. Did we have a name for our group?
Yes, we do.
Sorry.
And you're
There's
gonna.
so many groups. I've never been in so many groups in my life.
I know, and that really is a problem. It's driving me crazy too. You want to know
Is
what the
it?
name? You want to know what the name of this group is?
The crazy group? No, I'm just kidding.
I got to tell you, and I don't know either. I don't remember. What did I call it?
Well, I can just go back on your thing.
Social media dominance.
No, that
Isn't
was last week's group.
Okay. See?
This is goals for 2021 or setting goals for 2021.
Yeah, 2020. It's 2021 goal setting challenge.
Yeah.
That's the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
The social dominance, Kim, was where we did all those those
That's
other
right.
things. Which
Okay.
by the way, I'm going to start that challenge up again in second week of January. So anyhow.
I just posted it for everybody.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Tara.
Well, otherwise I forget.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Kim, did you get value out of today?
Yeah. I mean, I find that stuff very interesting too, because I know my mom had a friend that she carried a notebook around with her.
Mm-hmm.
And everything she always had in that notebook, she manifested. I mean, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now me, I've had vision boards for the last 3 years. For some reason, they don't work for me. I don't do them anymore. Because when somebody says vision board, I'm like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. They just never have for me.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, that would require dissection.
Yeah.
We have to go deep into that one. But
I mean, the visualization is powerful.
yeah. But if you're able to do visualization, then the vision boards ought to work too, because they ought to just be reminding you of what you're doing the visualization of. So now I'm going to talk about me because I'll own this one. My brain goes, and it's very hard for me to stay focused on a vision. Very hard. But I do have, I don't actually have a vision board. I have this cork board up here, and I have things hanging on it, like a picture of, I put this picture up that's there on the board. I know you can't see it, but of a boat going to the Socorro Islands about 2 years ago. And I am now on that trip. It leaves in March. So, these things happen.
Where are you going on the boat?
It's a place called the Socorro Islands. It's about 300 miles south of the tip of Baja, California. This is a scuba diving trip. It's a liveaboard scuba diving trip.
Nice.
It's out in the middle of the ocean. So,
Great.
anyhow.
You need to invite Chelsea to go with you. Scuba diving.
Okay.
Awesome.
Anybody else? Betty, Iris, Linda? I don't know, Linda, are you still there? Are you driving or?
She's on mute.
Yes, I know. Betty, any comments? Did you get anything good out of today? You're muted, Betty, by the way. So are you, Iris. Oh, I can't hear you now. We're back to we can't hear you again. So you left your cell phone and you're on your computer now. Because we could hear you on your cell phone. Oh, there you are.
Turn the volume up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said I muted me because the kids are here and
Okay.
they're still, anyhow. No, I think you may all think I'm crazy, but one of the, let me find what I wrote here. One thing, and I started when I wrote it down. One thing that I think I need to work on is what matters most is seeing myself as the person that I want to be. And I think I need to, just a minute, what? I'm busy, Carly. Just wait a minute. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
I think for me, that is important. That's really important for me because I need to see myself as the person that I want to be, and it's not who I am right now. A lot of it is not something that I have control over because of my situation with the grandkids, et cetera, et cetera. But some of it is definitely, like my mindset, my things that I need to do for me to become the person that I want to be. So that statement right there, which is pretty simple, but to me, that probably stood out more than anything because that's what I need to do.
And that is really at the core of the whole thing. And that's what Tim was talking about too. Because in order to achieve the goal, we have to become the person who would be worthy of that goal.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's deep. That's good stuff, Betty. Keep working on it. You're going to get there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I will.
See, there's that belief. I will. That's beautiful. Cool. Iris, what did you get out of today?
Well, let me think. I'm going to have to go back over it, and I appreciate that you're going to put the slides in the group also, because I do want to reread them and just think more in depth. And also the books that you mentioned sound interesting. So yeah, I think I haven't really done a lot of visualization. So I think it is something that I do need to do.
It'll help you. It will definitely help you.
Thanks.
It will definitely help. Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned several books. I would recommend that you don't go out and buy all of them all at once, because every one of them is a study. These are not light reads. These aren't mystery novels. They take time and they take effort to dig into. So one at a time is probably all any of us can manage. But cool. All right. Anybody else? Final thoughts? We're going to close up. Let's come back tomorrow and pick up with our planning sheets and see where we're at and answer any questions we may have and get ready for the new year. All right.
Sounds good. I won't be late.
Late
Me too.
late is a state of mind. There's only one time, and that's now.
That's what I have to work on, though, is my organization skills. It's too many groups, too many meetings. my brain sometimes gets overloaded. But thank you.
I hear you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna kill the recording,
Okay.
and I'll put the recording in the group too, and I'll put the slides in the group, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.